Welcome back to Transfer Talk. And the big news this afternoon is that Wayne Rooney has been appointed as the new manager of Derby County. In doing so, he has officially retired from football, bringing to an end a hugely successful career at club and international level. So the end of a playing career, but the start of a new era for Wayne Rooney. He has signed a 2.5-year contract, and this is what he has had to say this afternoon. When I first arrived back in the UK, I was completely blown away by the potential of Derby County, the stadium, training ground, the quality of the playing staff and the young players coming through, and of course the fan base. He says, despite other offers, I knew instinctively that Derby was the place for me. To be given the opportunity to follow the likes of Brian Clough, Jim Smith, Frank Lampard and Philip Cocu is such an honour, and I can promise everyone involved, our fans, my staff and I, will leave no stone unturned in achieving the potential I've witnessed over the last 12 months of this historic football club. Since taking over as Derby's interim manager, he's had a successful period, really. 3 victories, 4 draws between the end of November and the start of this new year. And he comes in at a difficult time for Derby, doesn't he? Because it's not the Derby that we've seen over the last couple of years. No,
I mean, you read out that stat there. No side have lost fewer apart from Brentford. And no side has conceded fewer goals in the division than Derby under Rooney. 4 goals. So Wayne Rooney, the striker, is shoring up Derby's defence. So it's a good start. But as I said before the break, he's now the permanent manager. So sort of here comes the challenge. And we were talking about it in the break, weren't we? They are in the bottom 3. This isn't the Derby County side. I mean, I'm sure he's spoken to Frank Lampard, but this isn't the Derby County side he's inheriting from Frank Lampard when they had some fantastic loan players. Harry Wilson, Mason Mount, Ashley Cole was there, Tom Morey was there. So it's a big challenge, but one, I bet he can't wait to start.
It's interesting hearing Wayne Rooney and the quotes you attributed to him just now, talking about the potential. They can't think about the potential at the moment. They've got to get out of that relegation places. In the next month, they play Rotherham twice. They play Wycombe and they play QPR as well, who are all teams in and around that area. Those are huge games for Derby County to get out of trouble. So it's odd, isn't it? Because obviously it's almost been kind of sold a project, isn't it? Especially potentially under the new ownership at Derby County. But genuinely, the next sort of month, 6 weeks are huge for Derby County in their quest to try to stay up.
Yeah, and just to pick up on your point, really, Derby have had to cut their cloth accordingly over the last year or so. They've had to sell the likes of Jayden Bogle and Max Lowe. Both went to Sheffield United. And then this summer, it was a quiet window over the summer transfer window for Philip Cocu, spending money on Kalim Jozwiak. But apart from that, Philip Cocu had very little funds to work with in terms of bringing players in and letting players go. It's been a time of conservative money being spent by Derby, and now with this takeover on the horizon, with the financial issues, as Rob was pointing out in the last few minutes, with regards to the takeover, there's issues with players being paid, although they're confident that that will be done. And then also there's the issue with raising funds over this transfer window and letting go of youngsters. It's not going to be easy for Wayne Rooney.
It's a tough start, isn't it? I think the challenge will just this season will be stay up. Then he can move forward. I mean, he's got a decent 2.5-year contract, is it? That's a decent start for him. He's saying, look, I'm not playing, I'm not getting that in the way. I've done what I've needed to do as a player. I'm retiring, I'm focusing on everything. Looks like a very decent backroom staff he's got there, people he trusts. That's exciting.
I'll tell you something, there are some young players they're relying on as well. Jason Knight's only 19, Lee Buchanan's only 19, Max Bird's only 20. I mean, they've got a real sort of, they've got some experienced heads in that, likes of David Marshall and that kind of Curtis Davis, that kind of thing in that changing room. But they've got some very young players they're relying on as well. They've got undoubted talent in that team, but it's a real battle they're in, isn't it? But again, these young players, as I said earlier, will be looking to Wayne Rooney and thinking, wow, this guy's on our touchline. That could be a huge impetus.
The 16-year-old who scored that winner for Everton against Arsenal, and we're now talking about him as a manager. What's going on, Dave?
Are you feeling old?
Yes.
Are you feeling old? Yeah.